Welcome to Bosco Campus Vision. You're watching the campus television channel of Don Bosco College, Kottayam. This lecture is on the prescribed syllabus of 5th semester BA English Literature and Language. The paper is Literary Criticism. In this lecture, I am going to deal with the next classical writer, Longinus. Longinus is the conventional name of the author of the treatise on the Sublime or Perihypsis, a work which focuses on the effect of good writing. Longinus, sometimes referred to as Pseudo-Longinus, because the authorship of On the Sublime is still a matter of controversy. Whether the author is Dionysius Longinus of 1st century AD or Cassius Longinus of 3rd century AD. Most of the critics identify as its author Longinus of 3rd century, who gave faithful service to Queen Zenobia. While Aristotle is regarded as the father of literary criticism, Longinus is regarded as the first Romantic critic. Aristotle, Horace, and Longinus are considered as the classical triumvirate of criticism. The authorship of the treatise Perihypsis, translated variously as: first one, elevated writing, it is written by William Wordsworth. Second, on the sovereign perfection of writing, that is by Arthur Quiller Couch. Third, elevation of language by Alan Tate. And fourth, on the Sublime by Longinus. Now let's talk about the treatise on the Sublime by Longinus. According to Longinus, the emphasis is on the literature of power, as distinguished from the literature of knowledge, whose purpose is to teach. The effect of this literature is achieved not by argument, but by revelation or illumination. Literature is not propaganda, not a sermon, not entertainment. It is vision. It makes us see with the eye of the spirit and fills us with awareness. Its function is sacramental. The truly sublime has an uplifting effect. We are lifted out of ourselves and carried to a new realm of experience and perception, and filled with ecstasy as if we ourselves had created what we see and hear. The true sublime arises from lofty ideas clothed in lofty language. Our reaction to the truly sublime is directed not by the power of discursive reason, but by intuition and insight. That is, when we read a piece of literature, that is a work of an author, suppose a novel, a story, a poem, etc., the work is said to be effective only if the reader, after reading, gains some kind of awareness, understanding, or familiarity of the subject. The awareness brings in him or the reader a kind of vision, that is, an experience that he receives of an unknown subject. With this experience, he is uplifted to sublimity. Sublimity or sublime means to exalt, to heighten, to improve, to purify, or we can say to raise on high. So this new realm of experience which he got after reading the work gives him a kind of insight or awareness of the things that was not known to him before. So through this treatise on the Sublime, Longinus is focusing on the effect of good writing. He gives this idea of good writing to the upcoming authors and tells them to achieve the sublime. The sublime is a quality of greatness. It can be physical, intellectual, moral, aesthetic, spiritual, artistic, or metaphysical. In order for one's writing to reach the sublime, the writer must possess and exhibit what he refers to as moral excellence. According to Longinus, the 5 sources of sublimity are: first one, the grandeur of thought or Noesis, the capacity for great thought and a firm grasp of ideas. The earlier masterpieces, example, Homer, Book of Genesis, Sappho. Second is passion or pathos, inspired emotion and strong passion. These two characteristics, amplitude of mind and its passionate intensity, are inherent and coextensive in the poet. Third is schemata, figures of speech and a proper construction of figures and thought concealed by splendor of style. This is what is schemata. Fourth is phrases, noble diction or notable language including metaphor and verbal embellishments. Language and diction must be appropriate to the grandeur of thought. And fifth is synthesis, that is harmony in composition. The effect of dignity and elevation, the power to integrate and fuse the elements so as to give them a tone of sublimity, that is extended from the particular arrangement to the broad structure of the work based on the concept of organic unity. So, in order for a work to reach sublimity, it should have greatness of thought. That is, the idea expressed must be great. Next, it should comprise of strong passions and inspired emotions. This must be expressed through different figures of speech and in such a way that the thought or idea will remain concealed. Then, by the use of language including the ornamentation, the idea or thought is expressed in an harmonious way. That is, ideas are synthesized, integrated, or fused in such a way that it gives a tone of sublimity. The 3 impediments to sublimity are: impediments means hindrance or obstruct. First one is affectation, second is cold pedantry, and third is sentimentality. According to Longinus, the poet has 2 aspects: genius and acquired art. Grandeur of thought and passion are innate, whereas schemata, phrases, and synthesis are rhetorical features. Longinus was against bombastic language, affectation, and mere pursuit of novelty. He stressed the need of choice of words, style, and excellence in composition. He cautions against certain faults that may spoil sublimity. First, timidity, that is bombast and pedantry. Second, puerility, silliness and childishness. Third, parenthesis, empty passion, ill-tuned pathos. Fourth, frigidity, lack of passions. The sublime is not easy to achieve. Heart is beautiful, he says. A writer may or may not be a genius, but he must have reasonable competence as a writer. Nature is of paramount importance, but nature cannot dispense with art. whose function is to regulate. He believed that the sublime effort is to regulate. He believed that the sublime effect is attained not by argument but by revelation and illumination. Its appeal is not through reason but through what we call imagination. Its effect upon the mind is immediate, like a flash of lightning upon the eye. Some of his statements: sublimity is the echo of the noble mind, and literature is in the nature of revelation. In this lecture, I talked about the treatise on the Sublime written by Longinus and the 5 sources of sublimity. Do the exercise and submit on time. Thank you.